Well, we saw how Mansell lost a lap when he killed it leaving the pits, but Jacques Villeneuve turned out he got stuck behind Mario Andretti and then just missed the blend line. That's why Jacques at the moment has lost a lap during that pit sequence.
That great, you can look right down on the Forsyth Green pit. Villeneuve's pit, the pole cam operated by Bunt Young here. Still clearing up some of the situation in turn one. They have all moved away from that scene and are now starting to go back toward the service areas for the emergency vehicles. Paul Tracy is the leader. Emerson Fittipaldi is second. We should be going back to green in about 2 laps on board with Mansell. Look at his helmet, Derek.
New helmet worn by Mansell this year. It isn't a ride, but you can see as he turns his head, there are aerodynamic devices now on the side of the helmet to try and guide the airflow around his helmet and around the rear roll bar. It's designed specifically to reduce a little piece of drag and also to stop some of this helmet buffeting that drivers get on high-speed circuits.
They move around. Still another lap to go to green. Coming up, 7 o'clock Eastern, Sports Center. Linda Cohn. They'll take a look at the conclusion of the Masters, the Sonics and the Suns, and of course a recap of the Food City 500. Then at 7:20, it's baseball tonight with Chris Berman and Peter Gammons, the Hank Aaron anniversary, and the undefeated Braves. And then at 8 o'clock, 5 Pacific, Sunday Night Baseball. The Florida Marlins and Gary Sheffield take on the San Diego Padres and Tony Gwynn at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Jim gives them the sign. 1 more lap to go to green. 1 car out of this race. That's Willie T. Ribbs. You've seen the full order. You ride on the nose of Robbie Gordon's car. He sits in 3rd place. Though there are other cars in the lineup, Robbie Gordon will be coming forward pretty quickly. There's Michael Andretti.
Now Mansell is only 5 cars back in the order. So Mansell, remember, was very fast at the opening of the race. So let's keep a good close eye on him to see if he can attack Villeneuve and the Penske's and try and get back on that leader lap.
And tracking Michael Andretti as well. He is 14th, a lap behind the lead of the race. The pace begins to quicken as Paul Tracy brings them back toward the green flag, almost at full race speed as he comes off the 4th corner. And on lap 41, we're back green. Boy, he got a good jump on that one.
That was a great jump, and it's such a huge advantage to try and anticipate that green flag as you come through turns 3 and 4. But there's Mansell. The first man he needs to go after is Villeneuve. And if he can pass Villeneuve, Villeneuve needs to hang on to him because he's a lap down too.
So the Lion is on the prowl. Villeneuve just ahead. Let's watch and listen. Backside now through the dogleg. Still in pursuit. Hasn't made up much time. But remember, in this lineup coming back to the green, there are some slower cars.
See how quickly Villeneuve went by Rahal? That gives you an idea how much horsepower that Honda engine needs to develop to be on par with some of these Ford engine cars. But I'll tell you what, Villeneuve is a surprise to everybody here, just how well he's handled himself.
Rahal's lack of acceleration can really be costly to some of the other guys and kill their momentum.
Rahal came here and thought that a good handling car could possibly make up for the deficit. Look at Robbie Gordon's slingshots round the outside of Gordon, outside of Rahal. But Rahal never really got a handle on the handling of this car either. Never mind the horsepower disadvantage.
Let's listen to this engine and also see whether or not he can get around flat at all. Fabi comes by the inside. So Rahal struggling. Now Gordon on the attack. Mansell coming forward.
Gordon likes to use Nigel Mansell as his yardstick. He knows how good he is and how successful he is. But Brash Gordon thinks he is just as good, if not even better. So wherever he goes, his yardstick is always Nigel Mansell. That's the guy he chases. Remember in Australia, he crashed trying to chase this man.
As you watch this, don't forget that Mansell and Villeneuve are both a lap off of the lead. And so they're trying to get their lap back. Now the leaders, Paul Tracy, Emerson Fittipaldi, the Penske teammates. running into traffic again.
And that was Davy Jones running an A.J. Foyt's car way off the pace. Jones, another driver who had a huge crash here during the Wednesday test session. He has moved into the 93 car, but he's way off the pace here. Emerson can just sit here. Look at Tracy make all the brave moves. Emerson can sit back, read the situation, see what's going on, because he knows they have two of the fastest cars in this race as they again move on the high side to go around Jeff Andretti.
But isn't there a danger for Tracy as well, and that is that if the leader comes blasting by a slower car, that maybe the slower reacts to the leader, but not to that next quick car?
Oh, that is the problem. Look how close they are, wheel to wheel. Great shots from the Goodyear blimp here. That again is Jeff Andretti in the Gillette car. Look how much faster those Penske's are able to dive down to the apex of 1 and 2.
The two Marlboro cars out in front. Al Unser Jr., the third Marlboro car, sits in fourth. Let's go to Gary Gerould.
Paul, we mentioned that the expected window was 64, but the yellow was long enough that it has extended it now to about lap 74 for the Penske team. If we don't get yellow before that, look for those leaders then to have to duck in, and those guys who made the early stops trying to close on that advantage.
52 laps complete by the leader. Bobby Rahal has brought the Honda into the pits. The Miller car, you're taking a hard look at it. It looks to be routine.
Gary, a good point there. Yellow flag is the key to making the gamble pay off again. Look at Tracy trying to go around the outside of Boesel.
He almost got pinched to the wall by Boesel, and now there's plenty of traffic in front of him looking back from Raul Boesel's car. Camera mounted right under the gearbox. Those are the mounts for the wing at the top of the screen.
Well, you can't get much closer to the action than this. Jimmy Vasser goes around the outside. Tracy down the inside.
Tracy gets past Boesel. Look at Vasser. The 18 car, blue and white. I'll tell you what, he is sharp this year. Definitely a driver to watch. Fittipaldi now looking to the inside of Jimmy Vasser.
The Penske team really expected Emerson to grab the pole. He was the fastest man in the morning session on Saturday. However, he had problems with his pop-off valve, and Paul Tracy went out and blasted it and just beat Villeneuve to the pole by such a scant margin of 0.03 of a second. How big is that? It's about 3 feet at 185 miles an hour.
Battle is here, still at the front of the field. Jan Beekes, what seems to be the situation with Rahal?
Well, it turns out he felt a tire going down, so he ducked into the pits, changed all 4 tires. He's not sure which tire it was. He has the Goodyear engineers at the moment checking each one. So a low tire for Rahal.
That's good news. We didn't see them go for the cowling of the car, so if they think it's a tire going down, at least the motor is still operating. Jimmy Vasser now trying to move to get his lap back.
In fact, he has already made 2 pit stops, so Vasser's had his problems, but now he seems to have it sorted out. That's Brian Till in Dale Coyne's MyJack car that moves down to the inside to let the leaders through.
Let's go back to third place now. This is the battle for third place. Al Unser Jr. is closing on Robbie Gordon. There's little Al. You see him as he ducks under some slower traffic and now is in straight pursuit. That's Rahal just behind, but remember, he's just coming out of the pits. Now Junior's in contact through the dogleg and closing.
Remember, Junior made the pit stop. Robbie Gordon didn't. So if it continues to stay green, Junior doesn't even need to make the pass here because Gordon will have to go to the pit for fuel. When you have 3 cars like Penske has, you can take a gamble with one of them. They did it with Al Jr.
Now, because they did it with Al Jr. and the car is lighter, I mean, almost 300 pounds, the fuel load difference from full to empty. Is this car operating better now?
Well, Junior's will be heavier because remember he took the fuel on.
Right.
Gordon's should be considerably faster.
That's what I meant.
Yet he's not able to get away from Al Jr.
Ongoing fight for third place. Paul Tracy followed by Fittipaldi, first and second.
Something.
Whoa, hold on to this.
takes the low road and Gordon takes the high road and Al Jr. pulls it off. Something we should probably mention, you see the traffic jams here?
Yep.
The number of rookies we have in this race. When you race wheel to wheel at 150, 60, 70 miles an hour with somebody, you like to know a driver's style. Well, with so many rookies, the experienced guys do not know the style of many of the drivers they're racing with here. So you have to add in that extra little inch of caution.
So at the top of the field, Paul Tracy, followed by Emerson Fittipaldi. Al Unser Jr., the yellow has come out. We've got a car against the wall, and it looks to be...
It's a Penske.
Oh, no! Oh, my goodness, how did that happen? The yellow had been out for some time.
Jacques Villeneuve got high, coming through 3, up into the gray, and absolutely rammed into one of those stationary cars.
The yellow flags are out everywhere. We've got several cars damaged. We'll keep track of this, and when we come back, we'll let you know exactly what's happened here. Debris all over the 3rd and 4th turn. Back at the Slick 50 200 Phoenix, Arizona, you see the damage to Villeneuve's car. We've got several cars involved here, a chain reaction accident, actually several separate accidents, all occurring in the same place at about the same time. Fortunately, all the drivers, including Paul Tracy, who was the leader of the race, involved, and Jan is right there.
Paul, what happened out there?
Well, I coming down the back straightaway, and I saw Hero and somebody and Fabi get together, and they just went up the track. I was up on the outside, and I had nowhere to go, and then I was sitting there. I was about to get out of the car, and something hit me. I don't know if somebody's motor just clobbered me right in the side.
Well, that something was Villeneuve. Look here.
Be out of the race.
Well, thankfully you're okay. It was a scary moment.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll tell you what. Hero is a very lucky man. Let's take a look at it again, Derek.
Here's how it starts. Teo Fabi right there. Touches wheels with Matt Schuster. That is an accident all by itself. Watch Tracy now. Stop it right there. Can we stop it right there? Tracy tries to avoid it, and look, he's in the gray. Okay, if we let it run on, you'll see what happens then. Tracy is an innocent victim here. Now it's a 3-car crash. As soon as it all stops, remember the gray is the no grip area. The yellow flags are now out. The rest of the cars come around.
And next down the line, Jacques Villeneuve.
Here,
look at him go outside.
Now look at this. Now watch the impact. Stop it right there. Can we stop it right there? Villeneuve has now no grip. He's in the gray. He's got dirt on his tires from the accident. He now knows there's a huge impact coming. Watch this violent impact. That is the scariest piece I have seen in IndyCar racing for many years. It is phenomenal that Jacques Villeneuve stepped out and walked away from that Reynard. Michael Andretti said when he drove this car first, this is the strongest racing car I have ever driven. There is proof of the point.
By the way, also Dominic Dobson, look there in the middle. That is Hero. He's talking with 2 of the safety crew. He was the one in that car that was hit. Jan Beekes is right there. Jan, he looks like he's fine. Let's go first to Gary Gerald, who has Dominic Dobson also involved.
This was a scary, scary incident, Dominic. What were you able to see, and what can you tell us?
Well, all I really saw was Fabi up in the wall, and then Villeneuve absolutely T-boned him. He came down across, and there was nowhere for me to go. I was down far inside, and I was trying to get slowed down, and there's just no room.
And so much disappointment because you were been running so well up there in the top 5.
Well, I'll tell you, the PacWest team, my hat's really off to them. They did a fantastic job getting both Scott and I in the field, and we're running strong, and I'm just disappointed for the team. I know they worked very hard.
We'll see you next week at Long Beach.
Okay, we'll be back.
All right, thanks. Paul?
We also saw Teo Fabi, who was in the accident, walking by. Let's get an update from Jan.
Well, Hiro Matsushita is now in the ambulance, but we spoke with him briefly. He is okay with the exception of a sore shoulder. So another very lucky man here.
Oh, look at that. There is Hiro's car. I'll tell you what, Derek, you can't say enough about what happens is all of the designers, the Nigel Bennett's, Renard, they all get together and they decide what the safety will be, that this nut has to be that strong and that bolt with this much shear. It pays off in moments like this.
That there is Matt Schuster's car. It is broken in half. They broke